First and goal. Kuhn gets the ball. Pile driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort. Here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Week 8 post-game tailgate show, the fantasy recap show that comes right after Red Bull is off the air. Usually, that hasn't happened yet. We still got a lot of actually hot action going on. So Wolf and I kind of peering around the corner so we can see our TVs. This is the Fantasy Fullback Dive. I, of course, am your host, The Truth. With me, as always, the Wolf of Rotor Street himself. It's been an up and down emotional day for me, and I can tell you're in the same boat. How you doing?
Absolutely. Just as you said, up and down battles. Big implications tonight and in Monday Night Football. Just one of those days where it's a clawing and scratching, ugly ass, whether it ends up good or bad. Your gross picks have hit, your great picks have been duds, and it's just greasy, gross, slimy. Those types of fantasy weeks are the best. So I'm thrilled, man. How are you doing?
The day started really, really, really badly. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it was a situation where, I've been decimated by injuries all week and buys and stuff. I've been telling you, I've been asking you, hey, who should I start between so-and-so? And none of the options are really good.
Yeah.
I was down like 90 to 25. I was going against Dalvin Cook and Tyreek Hill, like both in the early game, and they just destroyed me. So I've been clawing back. I was down to a 96% chance of losing, according to the projections on ESPN. And then I had some workman-like efforts from Allen Robinson, who is actually still playing right now.
I need him to end. I'm facing his ass.
I need him to keep piling him on. Although there's a slight Jimmy Graham problem for me on the other side.
I'm done with him.
Then I got Justin Jackson, who I'm happy I picked up. He's done well. He's got 16 points. Good receiver, 89 yards.
Kelley with 3. Loser. Bomb.
Yeah. And then, of course, topping it off for me, I got DK Metcalf, who is definitely packing like a 20-incher in there.
Oh, my God. Ridiculous.
So it's been wild. Like right now, I got Dallas Goedert and I got your boy Jalen Reagor playing Sunday night. All right. We're actually in it together for one of the first times ever. Right now, I'm up 130 to 102. I'm projected to lose 150 to 149.
You're right in it, man.
The guy's got Tom, Ronald Jones, and Mike Evans going tomorrow night.
I'm facing Tommy B and myself too. Holy shit! Yeah,
right. You and me are aligned. So anyway, that's just a long way for me to say it's been pretty crazy. This is why we started doing this show right up the red zone. I'm really amped up. I feel like I've had a bunch of coffee. In fact, I've just had some beer, and I'm gonna have another from the Amherst Brewing Company, Juliet IPA. It's really, really good.
Nice.
Let's get into it. What are you drinking?
A little bit of mead today.
It's the drink of the gods, straight from the bottle.
Oh, yeah, delicious shit. If you don't mind, I see a thumbs up coming in. And wherever you are, if you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, hitting that thumbs up helps us get out to more people, gets us discovered. Share it. We're going to try to get as much to the mailbag. We'll get all your comments as always. But ultimately, we want to make it a little more interactive in between segments and whatnot. So come on in, send in your comments, give us those thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks for winding down the Fantasy Sunday. Let's see how these games end, too. Thrilling stuff right here.
We'll tell you. Obviously, you're probably watching the game and us. I don't happen to have a TV where I can see.
Yeah, let us know.
On the corner, I can do it right. Sure, give us any updates. I see right now there's 2 minutes of elapsed in overtime, and the Bears do not have the ball. Yeah. Anyway, let's get right into studs of the week. There's some guys that put up some serious studly performances, and let's start with a guy who's no stranger to the stud nomination pool, and that's Pat, or Patrick, as his mom would rather you called him, Wolf, Mahomes. We're never going to get him on the show if you keep calling him Pat. 416 yards through the air, 5 passing touchdowns against the Jets, sure. Even so, just a massive, massive fantasy day.
And it was just a middle finger to anybody in the run game investing pool, because they were up the whole game. Wasn't a contest, but for whatever reason, they just said, let's get Mahomes one of his classic days, and it turned out to be the case. He was I was a little bit lower on Mahomes because I was like, yeah, they're going to blow him out, and they're not going to need to ride it. The Jets somehow kept it enough in distance, enough there that they could get in the game. Really never were in the game. but enough for Mahomes to keep unloading. Dude was a monster. Dude was straight up monster if you faced him today.
Yeah. So sorry if you didn't. If you had him, great job. Certainly a worthy stud nominee.
Oh, absolutely.
Next up for studs, nominee number 2. I faced this guy, so I've felt his studliness firsthand. Dalvin Cook, 163 yards on the ground, 4 total touchdowns. I think 1 came in the air, 3 came on the ground. In my league, he scored 50 points. So, yeah.
Monster effort. Yep. And I had him in all my DraftKings lineups. He was my stud of the week. I said, where everyone's going, Kamara, who obviously did solid, and Derrick Henry, who had a good day too. But I said, fade those guys, go to Dalvin Cook. He was only about 13% owned, and I haven't checked. I hope I'm still doing well. I entered the 4 o'clocks doing well.
Check at the end of the show. Like we did
I'll check it at the end. We'll look together. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but I had them. I had Miami D, so you never know. Decent day.
All right, nominee number 3. This guy, I'm being honest, he's probably not in the same conversation as the first 2 guys, but he had an amazing game. 7 catches for 53 yards for Davante Adams, 3 touchdowns, not too shabby. Monster. Good for 30 fantasy points in my league. Like I said, I like the first 2 guys for stud of the week over him, but you can't really ignore a line like this.
No, especially in the weather conditions. Like, there's nothing that can stop these 2, Aaron Rodgers and him. It's just automatic every single week. Belongs top 5 on any respectable rest of season big board, maybe even top 3, to be honest, at this point, certainly PPR wise.
And, we're just going to say nominee number 4, and I know I can't be objective on this guy. In some ways, I feel like this should be the guy just because of just whipping it out the way he does. DK Metcalf, 12 catches for 161, I believe was his final line, and 2 touchdowns the start of the 4th quarter. Or by the end of the game. I think his final stat line, 12 for 161, 2 touchdowns. It was good for 41 fantasy points in my league, and I was riding this guy for a long time, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And these were just like man receptions where they're just throwing in one of his touchdowns. They just like threw it right into he was completely covered and he just ripped it down and was like, yeah, forget it. You can't have this. And they give him all this space on the side because he's just so fast. He beat him over the top for his first touchdown. Then they just start sagging off him and he's like, fine, I'll just beat you for like 14 yards of play every time. There's no way they could stop it. What do you do facing Seattle? And I know Seattle made this game close and they managed to blow the game last week against Arizona. What do you do when you got someone like Tyler Lockett going for 203 scores one week and then the next week Metcalf doing something like this? There's
no stopping him. I mean, the way Russell can just put the ball literally anywhere into any window, even if you got a decent pass rush, so escapable, there's no stopping it. There's truly, that's why this is the ultimate fantasy matchup, is they're going to always put up 30-something points, and their defense blows on the other end. So your team, whoever's on the opposing side, is going to put up some points too. It's just a delight every single week to have them and to go against them too.
Is there
galore?
Is there anybody more fun to watch than DK Metcalf in the NFL?
No, he's just a different breed. He doesn't look human. It's seriously. Remember Cliff Kingsbury? What do you call him? Like a young stallion galloping on the field. Like that's what it is. Literally, he's a Clydesdale.
He's so awesome. Anyway, so who do you got? Who are you giving stud of the week to? Those are 4 worthy candidates.
People worried about the injuries. Is he going to get a full workload? Is he back to 100%? He's now in contention for number 1 overall rest of the year. He's the guy that we said would threaten for MVP. This is why. 50-point days like this, more involved in the receiving game. To me, it's Dalvin Cook. In a week where it's hard to find good running backs, he just was far and head and shoulders way above everybody else, in my opinion.
All right, I can't argue with you, even though I love DK so much. I think Dalvin Cook is probably the guy also because, like I said, I went against him, so I felt the power of his wrath.
Yes.
I'll have to get lucky to come out on top of this one. Let's move on to dud of the week. Dalvin Cook, a worthy recipient of the stud of the week award. The eggplant that was perched on my head has become a pile of shit. Nominee number 1, CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 6 rushes for 21 yards, 3 catches for 10 yards. This made even more of a big deal. The Wolf alluded to this earlier because of the nature of the game.
Keep going.
It was a blowout. I want to say the final score was 35-9. Kansas City over the Jets. You think that a score like that would lend itself to a lot of running. And in fact, it did not. It just lent itself to Pat Mahomes showing off, basically. CEH not getting much. You think, CEH didn't get much. Le'Veon Bell probably got a bunch of burn and had a big game. No, that didn't happen either.
Just the Mahomes show. Who could have seen it coming? Every normal human would have scripted
Allen
this.
Robinson with a catch, by the way.
I know. That's why I sprinted in there. I had the big crowd rumbling. It's fucking terrifying.
Love the live. We got to get to a point where we're in an office doing this together where we can be watching TV together.
I know.
What are we doing?
Right, exactly.
Anyway, go ahead.
Soon enough. But yeah, I mean, it just, for everything you cited, it all led to like a big second half script-wise for Clyde, and it just never came. So disappointing. And he's not even the biggest disappointment, in my opinion, from the rookies. This is my second nominee 4. We'll get there in a little bit.
Okay, we'll talk. Let's talk Kenny Golladay because, this is going off my list largely that I put out. Kenny Golladay, 0 catches, 0 yards on 4 targets. And I wrote, what a disappointment this guy is. And that made it onto the banner, which I appreciate. What a disappointment this guy is, huh?
Absolutely. I just copied and pasted exactly.
No, I'm flattered.
Because there's no way to better put it, especially on a tough matchup where Stafford had his best passing day of the year. For Golladay to be invisible is inexcusable, embarrassing, just disgusting, just absolutely disgusting. You would have figured at least Golladay had a big day today. Nope. Of all the people, awful. Just what do you even rank him the rest of the season with these types of duds in his blood?
Receiver, 40.
Disgusting stuff. And I just want to also just highlight too, as you can see strolling there on the bottom, if you have a nominee yourself, or it could be one of the people we're nominating that just infuriate you, hit the wine line. RotoStreetJournal.com/wineline is a recording button. It will just send it right to a email. We make a compilation of it. Our man Joe Hopkins is going to take care of that, or Matty Hopkins rather. So check it out. RotoStreetJournal.com/wineline. Whoever pissed you off, whether it's these guys, whether you have a new nominee, nominate them in the comments, but also definitely send in a complaint there. RotoStreetJournal.com/wineline. Make sure see if you get the wine of the week. Another awful
nominee number 3. I wrote a stock watch on this guy saying, hey, look, he's doing a good job. You might want to check this guy out. Nelson Agholor, and Jimmy Graham. Now, I'm a little sketched to put Jimmy Graham on this list because he is actually still playing. He has 2 receptions, 13 yards, but they do have the ball. So, I mean, he catches a touchdown or something, or even another catch. Yeah, I mean, and that's Nelson Agholor, on the other hand, 0 catches on, 0 catches, 0 yards. I believe he was targeted twice. So ghost, good way to refer to him.
Yes, right. Absolutely ghost you. Waiver wire priority for many people. I thank God benched him for Rager. So at minimum, I know Rager, even if he doesn't come out the way I think he's going to, and goddamn, I think.
What if he comes out hot? I'll be so happy.
He's going to. I'm so excited for tonight. It's going to be Jennifer Lopez waiting for tonight. Like, I cannot wait to see what these guys do.
We're going to be texting back and forth a lot.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of the same horses going. Jonathan Taylor, nominee number 4. Agholor was easy, 0 for 0. Jonathan Taylor, 11 rushes for 22 yards against the Lions. He came up with 4 points in PPR because he did have 2 catches for 9 yards.
And made all the worse because Jordan Wilkins had, 20 carries? Outperformed,
Nyheim Hines had 2 touchdowns and catches. Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody except this guy.
Right, exactly. Everybody except him. No, out of the bye week, maybe they finally realize what stallion they have. Shut the fuck! What a fucking loser! Oh my god, I hate you guys. I hate everything about it. I'll give credit to Joe Hopkins, our Colts guy. He wrote about it. Said this backfield's going to be a nightmare. That was with Marlon Mack, but even still, we thought our stallion would be unleashed, and he is not. So yeah, bottoms up towards Jonathan Taylor. Fuck.
Bottoms up. Drink your mead, drink your IPA, or whatever else you happen to be drinking. Nominee number 5, Diontae Johnson. God, I may have written a stock watch about Diontae Johnson too. 1 catch for 6 yards. I can't swear to that, but I kind of think I did. Diontae Johnson, 1 catch for 6 yards on 3 targets. I mean, that was a pretty sloppy game between the Ravens and the Steelers. Entertaining, but sloppy. Lots of going back and forth. And our boy Chase Claypool, who laid an egg last week, actually scored the winning touchdown.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was the double whammy, is not only did Diontae disappear, Chase Claypool, we saw Roethlisberger getting a comfortable groove with him, and he just kept going back and back and back, as he deservedly so. So this could be who knows if it's a signal of the changing of the guards. And at least shows you it's not just automatically Diontae every week. It could be spread out, and it's just probably going to be a headache for everybody involved.
They got 3 really good receivers.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, again, if you have a nominee, hit our wine line. If it's one of those guys, let them know it. If you have somebody else that we missed, hit the comments, or just, again, shoot us the wine line. We'll mold that together and release that ideally tomorrow night. It's hilarious stuff when we get those going. But we are going to move on now to 3 up 3 down. Actually, you know what? I say we go to the cut list. Well, the anger is still flowing, right?
All right, yeah, I'm
we hit some of the biggest duds, but also I would say Tyler Higbee, see ya. I mean, no need to hold on to this guy anymore.
He's been gone for me for weeks. He's been the guy on the top of our waiver chart in my league for a while, like for tight ends. And I've been having tight end issues, and I've passed on him every single week. I just don't believe in him. So, yeah, I'm with you. Go on. Yeah. Get rid of him. If he's on your team, he shouldn't be.
Exactly. Like, what is there to have faith for him, you know? I think all the Pats running backs, Burkhead, White, no dependable volume, even though they were down. It's the Damian Harris show. Like, they're going to try to grind out ugly wins. And on that note, Cam Newton, see you later.
Oh, gosh, man. I think his career might be over. He's on my down list. I'm just like, I wonder if he's ever going to play football again. I actually felt really bad for him.
Just atrocious. Just atrocious. Yeah, James White, 35 yards on 2 catches, useless. Rex Burkhead, 6 carries, 26 yards, pathetic. Higbee, as we mentioned, 14 yards. Cam, 174. He ran in for a touchdown, so he remained in the top 15, but I don't know. I also hate Josh Kelley. I don't even know what he's at this point. I think he has 3 points.
You talking about for the Chargers?
Yes, exactly.
You
said Justin Jackson, his role. He's the guy.
Also, this guy,
Troymaine Pope. Yeah, exactly.
Pope averaged 8 yards a carry today.
Whoever the hell that guy is, anybody but Kelley at this point, he's done. So that's my cut list. Get rid of any of those guys. In addition, if you guys have anybody I want to cut this guy, let us know. When we hit the mailbag again, we're going to hit all your nominations, all this stuff.
I want to dive into it. I want to throw one at you.
Yeah.
All right. So a guy that was tops on your cut list last week, who you were urging me to cut and who I was going to cut, but then didn't because I had so many injuries, was Jerick McKinnon. I didn't cut him because I was just in such dire straits. I was like, I got to keep this. I did not start him. I want to just read you his log here. -1 yards rushing for McKinnon.
Yep.
Solid. He does have a rushing touchdown. I believe. I think he scored from the 1, so he must have been -2 or something.
Yeah, not hasty, of course. Yeah.
14 PPR points. What do we make of this? What do you do? I mean, I didn't start him, so I'm not rubbing it in your face. What am I supposed to do with this guy? I can't trust him.
I'm never touching him again.
But I kind of can't cut him, right?
No, I don't want him. I would never do him.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
He's gone. I don't want him. He's a poison. He's a poison.
He is a cancer.
He's just going to mess with your head all fucking day. No doubt about it.
Well, I'm starting Rieger above him. I mean, I would have loved to have had that 14 points in my lineup. If I get 14 from Rieger, I'm going to be thrilled.
Yeah, I think I'm in it. I'm in it for Rieger. He's going crazy tonight.
And Goddard, Dallas
against Dallas, named after the Cowboys. They were an avid Cowboys fans growing up. He was named after the team he's about to spank.
He's kind of a plotter.
He's got some. Yeah, well, it sounds like it, but the dude can gallop. I like watching that man run.
Man, I hope he does something.
Oh yes.
All right. Let's go to 3 up, 3 down now. On the cut list, we're angry. Let's go to 3 up. You got that next up on the agenda?
We certainly do, but for whatever reason, the graphic is not right there. I thought I had them all in here. Hold on.
You want me to throw some at you while you're trying to
throw some at me? Yeah.
All right, well, number 1 on the stud. All right, number 1 on the up list is the same as number 1 on the stud list, and we're throwing Dalvin Cook in there because coming off an injury the way he was, you're always there's always a little question mark. You're never sure. Took that 1 extra week off. Remember that Alexander Madison buzz when we had to have Madison? He was the next big thing. He was good for at least 1 huge game, no question about it. Cook comes back. To say he didn't miss a beat would be an understatement. I mean, this is his best game of the year, I would say. Maybe one of the best games of his career. So you can't really be up any more than that. Like the Wolf said, you can make a real case for him maybe even being number 1 overall on your rest of the season list.
100%. And then number 2, I had Corey Davis. I mean, I wanted to personally deliver this one because I've spit the most venom possible against this guy. But to me, it's kind of like this year's Devante Parker, the one that nobody really ever saw. After 4 years, it's every year there's hype. Every year he fails to live up to it, so everyone forgets about him. And then suddenly he's just getting it together. The dude still has the talent. A.J. Brown across from him, drawing number 1s. And this is clear cut. He's the number 2 weapon at this point above Jonnu. And then obviously we saw Adam Humphries, unfortunately.
Oh, dude.
Awful injury, right? Brutal injury. And so Corey Davis, even more secure volume. They have a tough schedule. That just means they're going to be throwing more and more often. And he's on the waiver wire in a lot of leagues too. So I thought he was a big riser. I wrote down one that you didn't have, Nat.
Okay.
I had the Ravens run game, but it became a two-man show. I mean, those running backs crushed it. Like, let's get rid of fucking Mark Ingram for good, please. Can we trade him? Can he go somewhere?
He's hurt. He's going to be out for week 9, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. High ankle sprain. They're saying he could be out for a while. Gus Edwards led it with 16 carries, 87 yards. But it was Dobbins who, even on one less touch, racked up 121 total yards. Looked unbelievable. Both guys. Just get them enough of a consistent, steady feeding. I love those guys. You also had a few names I got to make a quick banner for, but Tyreek Hill, right? Returning.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill, who I also went against, 4 for 98 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, it had been a while since he scored, like a couple games, I think, and we had been kind of saying to ourselves, I mean, I remember we said this on a past podcast, like the deep balls are coming. He's going to get these opportunities. It's only a matter of time before he scores. He had 2 today. He showed why he's still possibly the biggest deep threat in the game. Absolutely.
And then the last one we had here, going 11 catches for 110 yards. Just the involvement in the offense overall. Right. Cooper Kupp showing a huge dick. And then also Robert Woods on the other side, all the scoring too. It was just good to see that Rams offense kind of pushing it again. It obviously getting smothered for most of the game, but in that negative script, it was good to see that they can still hit that gas pedal and ignite the offense. So that was great to see. I'd say those guys were all up, and they'll be bumped up in the waiver wire.
The reason I put him on is because we had talked specifically about his expected fantasy points being lower than you would think. And so this seemed like more kind of a market readjustment, I guess.
Right, for him. Exactly. Going down, I mean, we have to start, right, with Jonathan Taylor. We already raved
about with the biggest bitch of the bunch.
Oh, my God. Like, outperformed by both of his backfield mates, seeing less snaps than both of them. You'd think out of a bye, he'd be the one to just come in and get the workhorse treatment. Maybe they finally commit to their rookie, and it was the exact opposite. I think it's terrifying. I mean, he's gonna fall. He's gonna fall by far the most on my big board, going from like a fringe first to second rounder, like probably a 6th rounder. Did Kamara just score a touchdown?
No way.
Inside the 15, no, he didn't score.
Looks like the Saints are gonna win though.
I have Will Lutz. Give me a little Will Lutz to end this.
Will Lutz love. It'll be good for me. I'd be happy to end right here. Ends right here. I'm projected to win 151 to 150. So nice. We'll see what happens. But again, that relies on Rager and Goddard doing something.
Yes. Right. Number 2. Do you have this guy? Did you play this guy?
Hollywood, I did.
Let's hear about him. He's down.
I mean, I had to play pretty much anyone that was healthy on my team. I played everyone that was healthy on my team except Jerick McKinnon, who scored 14 points. Marquise Brown, who I love. I've been a huge fan for whenever. He caught 1 ball for 3 yards. Now, it happened that was a touchdown. So, I mean, I got 7 points out of him, which is obviously not as much as I'd like to get, but it wasn't just an absolute and total bust. It's real concerning, though. Like, the volume is not there. Like, they're not going over the top enough. We can say what a threat he is and with the running game, how that opens it up. But at some point, you have to produce. And we have not seen that. And I'm not sure if it's his fault or Lamar's fault or both.
It's kind of the whole offense. I mean, it's so unpredictable, and that's kind of their calling card. That's what they make their money on, and it's just never going to bally out into some consistent value for this guy, as much as he is talented. Marquie, not great spelling there, by the way. Marquie, not getting it done, doesn't deserve the S in his name based on his fantasy production.
Next week, if he does it again, he's losing another letter.
Letter every time he's
going to be Marquie Brown next week.
Marquie, yeah. I put Kareem Hunt on here.
Yeah.
Doesn't see a single freaking target, facing the most smash spot of smash spots. The Raiders giving up the most points to running backs. Very generous to them through the air, very generous to them through the ground. And Kareem racks up 66 yards and nothing through the air. I mean, and now he's got his bye week, and they're saying Chubb is potentially back afterwards. Thanks. I mean, the smash spot RB1 for the next 4 weeks when Chubb's out. Nothing. So at this point, he's plummeting down the rest of the season big board. If you sold high while you could, congratulations. Because this is why you held on to him. This 30-point day in the making. This is what he does. This is what he fucking does. What a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a good call.
And the last one, you already talked about this guy, but.
Well, I said Kenny Golladay, and I mean, he certainly deserves to be on there. We've already talked about him a little bit. I want to talk to you. I want to ask you about Mike Davis, who I also have.
Oh, that could have been good for the cut list, right? Like Mike Davis.
Well, I mean, I have him on my down list, and I mean, I know he played on Thursday, so I'm cheating a little bit. We generally talk about Sunday stuff, but I mean, he had a lackluster 66-yard game in a loss to the Falcons, who you're kind of just supposed to run and pass all over the Falcons, right? And McCaffrey's going to be back. So This might be it. Very similar to the Hunt situation, except even more dire, I would say.
Right, exactly. He showed the last possible great farewell performance. He didn't do shit. 8 points, like exactly. So if that's what he's going to be in the handcuff, what's the point of holding on to him at this point? Yes. So I agree. He should have been part of the cut list. Totally agree. Let's preview real quick the waiver wire. Also a graphic waiver wire look.
All right. I'll start with Corey Davis, who you mentioned is somehow available.
Yeah.
47%, I think, is the number of leagues that have him. So that means in 53% of leagues, Corey Davis is out there. He's not out there in my league. I would have checked. I mean, Corey Davis being out there in that many leagues, this is not necessarily a small sample size that he's put out at this point. Davis has established himself.
It's double digits every time he's been out there. Like literally hasn't had a double.
Every time. And we don't
every single time.
So, I mean, we're not like sucking him off here, but like you can't ignore production like this. There's two legit, really good receivers on this team, and he's one of them.
Absolutely. We wanted to mention, again, Thursday night, but probably you have to wait till waivers clear afterwards. Yep. Curtis Samuel, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the air, 1 through the ground. Yep. Just that versatility is why we loved him in Joe Brady's offense, and we're seeing it come to fruition. So love to see his role evolve. Love to see his touches go up. He's got over 13 points in back-to-back games, carving out a nice role for himself. Definitely a bye-week fill-in type of receiver with upside every single time he hits the field. Gus Edwards, I thought, feasting as the lead. Obviously Dobbins looked more like the guy, but I'd love to see Ingram get the fuck out. Like those two, clearly, I still think for any running back, like more than 2 running backs, you just can't get in a groove. You need that fucking feeding to find your rhythm. And both of these guys, Gus and Dobbins, you saw them get better as they got fed. So I love to see it. I like Dobbins obviously first, and he shouldn't have been going on waiver wires going into the week. Yeah. But Gus Edwards still only 30% owned, definitely somewhere out there. And you talked about this guy. What do you think about him? Troymaine Pope? What's his name?
I mean, we talk about how there's a certain number of running backs that's too many in a backfield, and this may be the case for the Chargers. We've been trying to decide who's going to come up and fill the void here. You said you hate Kelley. I've gone in on Josh Jackson. He's done pretty well for me. He had 16 PPR points today. But then there's this guy, Troymaine Pope, who I'd literally never heard of before this game today, who put up a nice stat line. And I didn't see his final numbers, but about three quarters of the way through the game, he was averaging 8.4 a carry, something like that. And I saw him get carries after that. And the Chargers did blow this game in one of the biggest chokes I've just about ever seen in my life. Got nothing to do with this guy, really. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, the offense, as we see, is one of the more explosive ones. They've put up like 30 points a week at this point over the last 3 with Herbert. And he was involved as a receiver, involved as a runner, like clearly above Josh Kelley at this point. I think Justin Jackson is the guy until Eckler's back. But the announcers kept emphasizing throughout the game, like talking to Anthony Lynn, he is frustrated with this backfield. He wants someone to emerge. He said, we'll give them all a shot and see who steps up to the plate. And Pope definitely showed a lot more today than Josh Kelley did. So I think him, Justin Jackson, might end up being the play moving forward. Time to get rid of this motherfucker. And the last one I put on is either Ross Dwelley or Jordan Reed, who was activated on the IR to return. Last time he got a full start to himself, Jordan Reed put up 26. It's that role. It's especially that role if Nick Mullens plays. He loves his tight ends. This is more in response to the injury we're going to talk about in just a minute here. Not that I think these guys are great.
Look, just Jordan Reed shouldn't be playing football.
He shouldn't be.
Not safe.
But Dwelley also scored today, too.
Go in on Dwelley, then. Don't touch Jordan.
Albert O. Big Albert.
We had a little bit of talk on our group text about Albert O, and here it comes.
Here he is, 6'6", 260 pounds, 4'9", 40. Dude can move. He scored a touchdown. He faces Atlanta next week. So if you're desperate for a bye week fill-in, like Goddard, for example, going to be on bye next week, maybe it's Albert O that you sneak. Yeah, exactly. But did we forget any waiver wires? Nominate them. We're going to hit the mailbag in one more segment, just covering the injuries. There's really only 3. They're all on the same team. But if we forgot any waiver wires.
The team that gets injured more than any, them and the Eagles. Right. All the time.
Exactly. I know it's 8:05, and we want to spend the last 15, 20 minutes hitting everything that we can for you. 32 questions already. But just to cover the injuries, banged up 49ers, Jimmy G, George Kittle, and Coleman all leave early. Coleman with a knee. Jimmy G was his ankle, and George Kittle they didn't really specify during the broadcast, I don't think.
I think Kittle just wanted to get off the field because they were down like 30 at that point.
Right. Just embarrassment and lack of pride. He definitely looked a little dinged up. But respectively, JaMychal Hasty would still be a lead guy. McKinnon would also hold down that receiving role in the backfield should Coleman be gone. Fucking McKinnon.
You love McKinnon.
Mullens is nothing worth streaming. George Kittle, I mean, obviously his role is massive, so Dwelley could be a stream should he miss time. But that's just the injuries. I really don't think there was anything else big, was there?
No, not that I saw. I mean, it's possible I'm missing something, but no, those all seem to come in that one game.
Yeah, if we're missing any.
I saw a lineman or two get hurt, but that was about it.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings us to our last segment, the mailbag. I think I'm just pulling up fucking old frames from broadcast because the pictures didn't all load, apparently. So let's get to your mailbag, folks. Any questions you guys have? I do want to shout out, actually, though, before we go to that, I'm sorry, CJ's props of the week. He put together.
Yeah, he did a good job, huh?
He's been, I think, 15-3 in his last, 18 props. I mean, he's absolutely ripping it. So I'm just going to pull up what he shared with me. So share screen, Chrome tab. Here we go. His favorite props to hammer, Goddard to score a touchdown plus
please.
Absolutely love that one. I mean, the Cowboys give up tons to every position. I would bet, too, a sneaky bet, Goddard first touchdown. I think it's like plus 1,400. I think he's going to score the first one tonight. We need that, Nat. I know we're on the same page. I'm facing Brady. We need to build that big cushion, baby. We need some cushion for the pushing when it comes to Brady because he's going to push. We need to push back. DiNucci over 14.5. I think that's the lock of the night. I think that's the easiest. He's got a running background. James Madison, he's going to hit that in the first quarter.
James Madison, quarterbacks known for their scrambling ability.
This guy ran all over the yard. And then Jalen Reagor, 2.5 receptions. I think he goes for 8. So I love that one. I think these Sunday night props are some of the easiest. I don't know about the CeeDee Lamb 3.5. Like what to make of this Ben DiNucci character. We'll scroll down there so you can see it. I don't know. I don't love the CeeDee Lamb one. I love the other 3. What are your thoughts on these, Nat?
Goddard, I mean, I love, but I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It's possible. I just want to kind of will that into reality.
I think
the rushing prop with DiNucci seems like the best bet. And Reagor, I feel the same as I do on the Goddard one. It's like, I just don't know what I'm going to see with these guys. I mean, I think in theory that could be an easy win, but we'll see. CeeDee Lamb, I'm not sure I would be touching that one, but CJ's the expert here, and he's earned our trust for now.
Exactly. I mean, he's crushed it. His record is filthy. Those of you that bet with him should know at this point. And while I have the picture of this man, Ben DiNucci, up, I just want to say, like, if you have trash to cut and your league still allows pickups going into a game.
You're just talking about trash to cut, and we just have DiNucci centered in the middle of the screen.
That's what I'm pretty much trash. And you're probably going to cut after tonight. But if you, let's say, for example, my perspective, I had Rex Burkhead. He's going to be nothing for
trash.
Me. I cut him for DiNucci going into tonight because it's like, well, let's see what the kid does. His coach from college said his confidence borders on cockiness. Michael Gallup said he's slinging it all over your yard. The defense was like, yeah, this dude's been moving it on us in practice. He's got the weapons. He has the horrible defense. Like, if this dude just comes in and starts spraying it, like, he's going to be a priority waiver pickup next week. Get ahead, stash him now, cut some bum from your team that you know you're never going to use. See what he does, because worst case, you just cut him tomorrow too, and it doesn't do anything to you. I love stashing DiNucci if I have something to cut. Just a pro tip for tonight, in my opinion.
Well, speaking of JMU, in 1998 or 1999, when I was attending Virginia Tech, I was fortunate enough to see the first ever college football game of one Michael Vick in person, and we were playing JMU, and we really destroyed them.
I'm sure we destroyed them, yes.
Michael Vick, let me tell you this right now. 98 or 99 Michael Vick, a lot faster than anyone else on that particular JMU football team.
Awesome.
And I got the video to prove it. All right. YT Nub or Yit Nub. I'm done, man. They injured George Kittle. I don't know who they is. Maybe like the Illuminati or something like that. I definitely feel your pain. Mitch Chavez, what's up, guys? What's up, Mitch? Always
loyal fan.
I love to know that Mitch is always watching / listening. Craig Sarno, after a tough Thursday, I made a nice beef stew. Sat down to eat another W, and then CH Taylor and Jonnu happened. To top it off, I had Buffalo -3.5 and the Chargers -3.5. What the fuck?
Tough day for Craig. How was the beef stew?
I mean, I was going to say, after all that, the one thing I came back to was the beef stew.
At least let us know how the beef stew came out, brother. If that's a Sarno family recipe going back to ages, I need to have some beef stew.
Seamus J. Timberlake, hey, boys. Hey, Seamus actually texted me while you were on the show today, asked me some questions because you were busy on the early show. So hopefully I steered him right. Hey, boys. Hey, happy football Sunday. Between Metcalf and Cook, safe to say I got my win today. Yeah, I guess you did. RSJ boys know best. Much love and thanks. # dance teacher for the win.
That's our guy. Love you,
Seamus.
Keep it rolling, brother.
Cameron Q. Geckel, my wide receiver core of Lockett, Ridley, and Golladay, ouch, came through for 14.5 total points. Happy Sunday. Yeah, well, Ridley did that nothing on Thursday, I guess.
Yeah.
Golladay, literally nothing. Lockett, shit. I mean, if you look at his average for the last 2 weeks, it's pretty damn good. But, yeah, right. Man, I'm sorry, Cameron.
That is sure tough.
Chavez, killing it again this week. Up over 200 points again. Welcome back, Cook. Ayuk has been great, too.
Let's go, Mitchell. Crushing it.
Firing on all cylinders. Sarah Riley says, Jonnu, last 3 weeks were terrible. Drop him for Goddard. Man, I might. I still have Font.
Yeah, I see. What did Font do tonight? Did he have a big day? Because otherwise, I'd cut Font still. I know both kind of suck. You could probably drop either for Goddard, though, at this point. I'm excited to see what he does. And that's just going into tonight's game. I know I said pick up Danucci, but ultimately, if there's still Riger out there or Dallas Goedert somehow, you have to go pick those guys up, see what they do tonight. Those guys are two of my biggest blow-ups for the rest of the season. The Eagles have a joke of a schedule moving forward. Go check your waiver wire now for Jalen Reagor, for Dallas Goedert. I'd drop most people for them. I'm really excited to see what those guys do.
Mitch Chavez, Chargers lost right at the end. Yeah, they did. Because remember we said we couldn't see around the corner. We did actually see that one, but thanks, Mitch. Daniel Howland, is Wilkins a must-start from here on out? Man, I don't know.
Yeah, no, he was the one that I meant to highlight in the waiver wire. We kind of covered him with our Jonathan Taylor shitting. 20 carries, like 90 yards TD. I mean, he was the guy. And they didn't go away from him. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Craig Sarno. Oh, and to top it off, I dropped Moss, and my opponent picked him up and started him against me. Oh.
We haven't come up with a term.
There's got to be a term for that. I was just about to say, dropping someone and then having the guy you're playing pick him up and have him ram it right up your ass.
That happened with Corey Davis and me 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Against the Patriots, too. He was facing my team, beat my own team in real life,
and then
smacked me around in fantasy. Yeah. There's got to be a name for that. You guys let us know any ideas you have.
Sarah Riley, sucks that they rested Mahomes the last 7+ minutes. Could have used those points to offset Swift's lack of points. Yeah, sure. I feel like you're definitely right. I feel like Mahomes got his share and then some, though. It was poor Le'Veon and CEH were the ones that were victims there. Big Pat did okay, but for your sake, I wish they had played him the last 7 because he probably would have thrown like 3 more touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
James Martin, Cooper, or Fulgham.
I like Fulgham, even with all the weapons coming back. I still kind of like Fulgham tonight. I'm going to throw in a showdown real quick. I hope there's no sit-start decisions in here, but I want to throw in some DraftKings for tonight's showdown contest. So let me see. Just a $15. I'm gonna screen share. We can make one together. Now, have you ever done the showdown?
I don't know. It's been a while. I'm on the older end of the demographic, so some of this stuff's kind of crazy to me. He's going to throw out some DFS. He wants to do a $15 one with me. I'm flattered. I'll be honest. It's hard for me to trust anybody that Andy Dalton's throwing to as far as the Cooper question. You know, there are a lot of, weapons, a lot of mouths to feed, and maybe not so many obvious ones in Dallas right now. But, man, I just have not seen much from Andy Dalton or from that other JMU dude to make me feel too good about starting any Cowboys if you have a better option. Anyway, the Wolves back.
Welcome. Sorry, my fault, guys. My fault. Hit the back button by accident.
David Campanile, Wolf led me to solid victories this week. Let's go.
Let me know. Let us know. Point. Shout out the calls we made right for you so we can have that graphic testimonial for us. Let us know what calls we made right for you, David.
Rock out, Zeke or Scott, non-PPR. Wow. You believe this is a question that is getting asked legitimately?
It absolutely blows my mind.
But here we are. I think I go Zeke. You have to go Zeke over Boston. I go Zeke too.
You have to go Zeke over Boston Scott. That's my opinion on that one.
All right, Robert Sauterall, Jonathan Taylor, buy low or stay away.
I'm staying the fuck away.
I'm staying away from him, dude.
There's nothing I like about this guy at this point. Staying far away is my opinion on that one.
They call me Ruse or Roos. I don't know what Roos or Ruse, either way. Josh Allen, Tyler Lockett, Johnny Taylor. Hashtag shit's weak. Yep.
That is real fucking weak, dude. That is absolutely weak.
That's some weak sauce. Mitch Chavez, that'd be DP raped at Wolf, LOL. That'd be called DP raped at Wolf, LOL.
That would be.
Should I go out and try to sell high on Dalvin Cook? I'm worried because of his injury-prone career. I mean, to me, it just depends on how high you're talking. There's certainly some package you'd trade him for, but man, I like him right now.
I would buy him in a heartbeat. There's no way I would sell this guy. Like, you'd have to be getting 10,000 times your value to give up this guy. No fucking way.
One thing about the Wolf through the years, he's a huge star fucker.
Oh, yeah.
He loves the big names. He'll chase after him. He likes having the best guy in a trade, which I get. But he has been – I feel like you gave me – you the kitchen sink at me for Julio Jones one year, and then I fucked you in the playoffs like the following game or something. Yep. I don't know. Sound familiar. But you loved Julio.
Sounds about right.
David Campanile. Herbert was a solid play for me. Gio was the absolute lock of the week. Cup and Hawkinson were fire. Thanks, Wolf. Nice job.
Those are the guys we got right for him. And then this last question here.
Rock out, should I trade CEH? Maybe.
I mean, it depends what you're getting. Of course, how do we answer that? But, like, it's scary. Definitely scary. Because at least it seemed like he would always get some volume, but now we know they might just go back to FU League, Mahomes all over the place. Shit.
He's going to have some games. He will have some games, assuming he stays healthy. But the question is he going to be a predictable, solid fantasy source? And I just don't know.
No, probably not. Folks, thank you so much for winding down your Sunday with us. We're going to go get ready for kickoff. Let's go, Jalen Reagor. Let's go, Dallas Goedert. Start your second half blow-ups right now. Nat, I know you got to get that W. We don't need Brady to do shit. Let's get it, my man.
All right. It's been a lot of fun, Wolf. I'm Nat Jones.
And I'm the Wolf. See you guys.